Hello everyone, my name's Russell Lowe. I'm a senior lecturer in architecture and architectural computing at the Faculty of the Built Environment and the University of New South Wales. This is a short video on how to create or how to make an entity move around using the track view in sandbox2 for Crisis Wars. First thing we need to do is create an entity, a physics entity. We'll use a basic one. This is the thing we're going to move around. I'll scroll down and pick a model for it. In this case I'm going to use the Rudin House by Herzog and de Meuron. There we go. And you'll notice once again the density and the mass are -1. That's so it won't pick up its physical properties other than the fact that it's got collision, so that we can actually stand on it. We don't need any of the other physical properties because we're going to be using the track view to control the movement of this object. So we need to get the track view open up. So if you go into view, open view pane, and sorry, this is off the screen, but I'm going to scroll down and choose track view. So here it is in the bottom, and now I'm going to create a new sequence. So add sequence. I'm going to call this Rudin underscore move. So don't have any gaps or anything like that, and any names for anything to do with computer games, go OK. And then I'm going to right click on this, and unfortunately you can't see this either, but I'm going to add selected entity node. So add selected entity node. And then that gives me the position, rotation, and any sort of events. Before I do anything, I'm going to edit the sequence. So I'm going to click on this edit sequence button, and I'm going to change it to constant. That's important so that the object, the entity, after we move it through the track view, doesn't pick up its or sort of pick up its physical properties and start operating in a different way. And in the case I'm going to show you, what would happen, it would drop out of the sky. So we want it to operate like an elevator, just moving around where we want it to. The time scale is 10 seconds, so it's going to move from here to where we finish in 10 seconds. Go OK. I'm going to move the time slider to 0, and using my middle mouse wheel I'm going to scroll out so I can see the full range from 0 to 10. I'm going to hit the record button and just click on the position, or double click on the position. Then I'm going to move the record to sort of something like that, and then move it. And you see we've got this little blue line giving me a track from here to here. When I move this again, you can see it's left a little green animation key, and move it again, and when I move this again you can see it's left another key. Move it once again and up, and so you can see what's happening now, that it's going to follow this swoopy curve. Now we can do things like double click and alter the key properties. So if I alter the tension, you can see it'll go sharp, and which means it'll go straight up to that first one rather than hook out. So it'll go straight up and then swoop off. So you can mess around with those kinds of things. And scroll through the properties of the 4 keys like that. Okay, so that's kind of doing what we want it to do. If we want it to rotate, we can click in and add a rotate key, or just rotate the thing. We're still recording, remember, so click on that. I have to go and put this back to where I wanted it. Should have double clicked at the start, but that's okay, we can go and do it again. And then through to 10, maybe we rotate it like that. So as you can see, it's going through quite a swoopy kind of arrangement. Now we're going to trigger this animation using a flow graph, and if you wanted to trigger the rotation and the position separately, you're going to need to put them on a separate animation sequence. So I'll close this down and show you, open up the flow graph and show you what's going to happen there. What you need to remember Oh, I've called it Rundin move. R-U-N-D-I-N. It should be Rudin. R-U-D-I-N. That would have been a problem if I had spelt that incorrectly. But make sure you spell it right. Sorry, apologies to the Rudins. So, let's open up a flow graph. Create a new flow graph. Going to put in a new group, call it Rudin. Go OK. Oop, and that's just taken up your whole screen. Hang on, let me. This is a tiny little screen that we're dealing with here. Sorry, just be a moment. So the first thing we want to do is add a node. So right click and add a node. Which node do we want to use? Play sequence. I'm sorry, that took an age. Add node, animations, and play sequence. There we go. And the sequence we want to play. Now this is where we've got to get the spelling right. R-U-D-I-N, Rudin move. But I spelt that wrong, so it's R-U-N. I think is how I spelt that. So it's going to play that sequence. And what we need to do now is give it some sort of trigger to do it. So I'm going to add a input key node. These are always quite useful, and I'm going to make the input be the input key be P. I'm going to grab that, go Control C and go Control V and copy it, and I'm going to make the other one L. So P and L, and when it's P it starts it, and when it L it stops it. So it's going to jump it back to the start, I think. So that should take care of us. As long as I spelt these names right, we should be okay. So Control G drops us in, F3 lets us sit there, P makes it go up, and rotate, and does its thing. What a ride. And you can see it's fixed in there, and L, P should make it come back and do it again. What does L do? L stops it. Jumps around a little bit, doesn't it? So that could be worked a little better. But as you can see, I keep hitting P and I keep bringing it back to the beginning again, and it'll go up and stop. And so we should be able to ride this thing. If I can, well, good way to end. Have a go at that and let me know how you get on. Thank you very much for watching.